Welcome to Attican Plays Railroad Corporation. All right, here's a quick primer on how to play Yellow Fever successfully. The thing about this is, like any puzzle, you want to figure out what's different about this scenario versus the normal gameplay. And of course, it's this yellow fever and the spread of yellow fever. And the thing you don't want to do is try to stop yellow fever right away. You can't. You have to have money in order to attack the problem. So like any campaign scenario, you want to build your economic footprint, your economic engine before you do anything else. So all you need to play this one successfully is you need to go, here's my recommendation. You start in Searcy, immediately do a single track down here to Hot Springs, which is a level 35 city. Then do a double track from Hot Springs over to Tupelo, which is a decent sized city. It starts, I think it's level 10 when you start. And spam trains, mail and passenger trains, spam trains between this on a double track so that they can run constantly, and that will fuel, that honestly, that's all the money you need right there. That will give you enough. Now what you do not want to do is expand out and start touching these other cities, these other towns with the raw materials. You know, you might be tempted to get the wheat here and the farm here. Don't do that. Just stick with simple passenger and mail line here. You could conceivably add like Winona or something, but I wouldn't even recommend doing that. As you can see right here, I'm already at a point where I've researched, fully researched and paid for all the research for the vaccine, and kept these cities straight. Now what you want to do, again, you build that and you get that going. Then you want to go ahead and double track this. You can run a couple of trains between Hot Springs and Memphis to get some revenue. Eventually you can finish off the loop, if you will, and put something over this way. Run a couple of trains, Tupelo to Memphis. But that'll make you a little money, but that's no big deal. The main thing is this line down here. But again, do not expand to too many cities. You want the minimum amount. You got to have a good city to make your money. That's Hot Springs, because you'll ship a lot of people and mail out of Hot Springs over to Tupelo and even up to Memphis, and you'll make good money. So once you've got some money, then you want to start buying the medicines that come in and get offered for sale. But you don't want to use them. You'd be tempted to start using them and putting them out here and trying to stop the spread of the yellow fever, but it won't work, because what will happen is you'll stop it and then it'll come right back, and you'll just be in this loop where you can't win. So what you want to do is then you want to start buying, now that you've got enough money, you want to start buying the medicines as they're offered, but ship them into a warehouse. So I've got a warehouse down here in Hot Springs. Make sure that you have your trading department. Which one is it? This one. Do I even have it yet? I think I do. Oh yeah, I must have. Yeah. So make sure you've got your trading department, and then whenever you get the virus hitting one of your cities, one of your 4 places that you're connected to, then you can go ahead, and if it's in Hot Springs, you just go into the market, hit City Market here, pull up the virus and pump some vaccine at it or medicine at it. And later on, when you've got enough compiled, see, I've got enough here now. I'm at a point where I can actually vaccinate Hot Springs, and the virus will just keep coming. You'll get rid of it and it'll come back. Get rid of it and come back. Just retreat it as soon as you can. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the market. I'm going to City Market. I'll pull up the vaccine. It needs 35, and I'm just going to fire 35 vaccine in there, because I've been loading up the warehouse. I've actually got 2 warehouses here, one with medicine, one with vaccine. So now we've loaded 35 in there. Now watch what happens. There we go. Now Hot Springs has been vaccinated, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. So my main city is done. Then I'll go over here and do the same thing over here in Tupelo Tupelo, the virus hits, I eradicate it, it hits, I eradicate, keep going. Finally, when you get it open like this, it needs 9, so you'll need a couple of trains to pull in there and hit Tupelo with the vaccine. Now, here's the trick to that. You have to fully eradicate it with the vaccine. In other words, you have to vaccinate everybody or it just comes back. So, like for example, in Hot Springs, you notice it took 35. If I had put 34 in there, before I got that last one down, the virus could have hit again, and then I would have had to use medicine to get rid of it, and guess what? We'd start all over with 35 more vaccine. So make sure that you've got at a point where you can eradicate it, vaccinate everybody at one time, and that's why the warehouse is great for these big cities. So then after you get your economic engine vaccinated, now you're all set. So now all you have to do, it's very tedious, it's really kind of crap work, but you just have to keep making money and keep connecting out and sending out. I would recommend maybe a couple trains, one with medicine, one with vaccine. Send the medicine train to like Russellville, connect Russellville, send a train over there, get rid of the virus. As soon as it's gone, use your other train to fire in some vaccine. Now you've got that one ticked off. And you can start, just work your way down, continue to build out your railroad. Now, this is going to cost a lot of money to do that. So what you'll probably want to do is pick another city, like Vicksburg down here is a big one. But you're going to have to pump a lot of medicine into Vicksburg. Well, you've got it in a warehouse here and here. So just start loading it into a warehouse. Buy this land here, put in a warehouse in Vicksburg, and start loading medicine in there and loading vaccine, or getting trains full of vaccine loaded up here, and then get Vicksburg online. And once you do, make sure you built double track, and then you can start running lines between those cities and up your income, because you're going to have to keep boosting your income now in order to afford all the medicine and vaccine you're going to need to clean this up. But you can do it. That's how I would approach it. Will absolutely work. The reason I haven't made a video on this is because I think the developers and the distributors should be ashamed of themselves. This DLC has defects in it that should not be in production. It's just ridiculous. It has, you can go into, if you get into into construction mode and you start building your railroads out, now that worked, but you reach a point where you can't exit out of the construction mode anymore, and you can't do anything else. It's just ridiculous that a piece of production stuff that they're charging you money for works like that. It's really kind of pathetic. But be that as it may, that's how to beat this thing. You can absolutely beat it like that. It's very tedious work after you get it going. The bigger cities are tough because, Vicksburg's going to take a whole bunch of medicine. Baton Rouge is going to take 11. I think, New Orleans will probably take a lot. 17 for New Orleans. So you got to move a lot of medicine down and a lot of vaccine, but it can be done. And if you're willing to just, micromanage it, you can definitely get it done. So anyway, I hope that helps you. Just focus on connecting to a minimal number of cities and keeping them disease-free. Build up your stockpile of medicine and vaccine, and as soon as you get your vaccines all fully funded, all the research done, then go ahead and vaccine your base, if you will, so that you're protected and your economy's protected, and then grow from that. So, vaccinate a new area, maybe set up an industry. I mean, if you wanted to, for example, one good strategy from right here would be vaccinate cure Pine Bluff, vaccinate it, buy the wheat field that's there, and then go over here, do the same thing in Oxford, buy that farm, and then start selling the meat to Tupelo and to Memphis and to Hot Springs. You can make it, there's another really good income source for you, and that would take care of that. Now, the other thing is research. As soon as you get this engine really going, then you can open up your research. And what you do on that is beeline. I just beelined right on out right on out all the way to the forney. So I've got the forney at this point right here almost completely researched, and I'm at a point where I'm going to go in and do mass replaces and redo all these lines with forneys, and the money should start. That should really help grow the money too, because you can use less trains running faster, which will give you even higher revenue on your passenger mail lines. You got 1, 2, 3 passenger mail. Well, passenger mail line here, passenger line here, passenger line here, and they'll all do really well. And then if you can add like a Vicksburg or another big city, that's just more money, right? But keep growing your income, but don't expand early. Do not expand early, because you'll just get in this loop of having to get medicine all over the place. You'll have to buy extra trains to do it. It'll drive you crazy. All right, so I hope that helped you. I do have HR, and I do have some folks, but I went for people with low office space, low salaries, upkeep, transportation, low fuel consumption. In other words, cost savings ones. I didn't worry about the construction ones. They never seem to come along at the right time anyway. So hopefully that'll help you, and you'll be able to get this thing done. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Railroad Corporation video. Thank you.